Hello, this is Dr. Devangi. Today I am going to teach you how to carve a maxillary canine. Here you can see a maxillary canine from the labial aspect. The shape of the crown here, which you can see, is a trapezoid with a long and a tapering root. And the two cuspal ridges you see here are the mesial cuspal ridge and the distal cuspal ridge. Now there is different in position of the contact areas. The mesial cuspal ridge is present at the junction of the incisal third and the middle third, while the distal cuspal ridge is present in the middle of the middle third. So these are the two different position of the meeting of the cuspal ridges. Now when we see teeth from the lingual side, there are presence of five cuspal ridges and two lingual fossas. The central ridge is the lingual ridge, and there is presence of mesial cuspal ridge, distal cuspal ridge, mesial marginal ridge and distal marginal ridge. From the mesial side, the crown seen is wedge in shape with a long tapering root, and the important point to be noted is that the tip does not fall in the midline with the root but is present slightly labial, and there is also a presence of mesial developmental groove on the middle part of the root, and on the distal part the shape is similar with the presence of distal developmental groove here, and the difference is that this distal development groove is slightly deep in nature. From the incisal part, no tooth portion is seen, and the labiolingual dimension is greater in comparison to the mesiodistal dimension. So here you can see we have taken the wax block to start with the carving of the maxillary right canine. First I will mark the length of the crown, which is 10 mm. So here I have taken 10 mm by using a divider and a scale, and I have marked here 10 mm from all the sides. Here you can see the crown is marked. After that we will mark the root, and the length of the root is 17 mm. So by using the scale and divider and a scale, we will take 17 mm of measurement. We'll mark on all the four sides. Now we get a crown portion and the root portion here, crown of 10 mm and root of 17 mm. After that we have to mark all the four aspects of the maxillary canine. First we will mark the labial aspect, and we will write as LA. Here you can see I have marked it as LA, means it is the labial side. Opposite of that I'll mark it as lingual side, and I'll write it as LI. This side I'll mark as mesial side, and opposite of that I'll mark as distal. So now we here get all the four sides: labial, lingual, mesial and the distal side. After that we'll mark the midline on all of the four sides. And on the crown portion we divide it into three parts so that we get the incisal third, medial third and the cervical third. Here you can see, after dividing into three parts, here we get the cervical third, the medial third and the incisal third. After that I'll start marking the labial lingual crown portion using a divider and a scale. The measurement at the crown portion is 7.5. I'll mark 7.5 labiolingually, and at the cervix it is 5.5. So I'll mark 5.5 here. After that I'll join these 2 points using a scale, as you can see here. Now I am going to mark the mesial cuspal ridge and the distal cuspal ridge. So the mesial cuspal ridge is shorter and it is present at the junction of the middle third and the incisal third, while the distal cuspal tip is larger in comparison to mesial cuspal ridge, and it is at the junction of the middle. It is the junction or at the middle of the middle third. So I'll mark it accordingly. Here you can see we get a trapezoid or a heart-shaped structure, and the extra wax needs to be removed. So I'll start removing the extra wax to get a proper shape. Extra wax, here you can see a proper trapezoid shape of the crown with a shorter mesial cuspal ridge and a longer distal cuspal ridge. Now we will come to carving of the mesiodistal portion. At the cervix the measurement is of 7 mm. So we will take here 7 mm and we will mark on both the sides. 7 mm, and at the contact area it is that of a 8 mm. So we'll mark it as 8 mm on both the mesial and distal side. After marking of that, we'll make a proper shape. From the labial side it is convex in nature, and lingual side will give a proper shape of a cingulum, and above that a slope is made. Here you can see. After that we will remove the extra wax from the labial and the lingual side. One important feature which we have to keep in mind while removing the wax on the labial side is that we have a presence of a prominent labial ridge on the labial side, which runs from the cuspal tip to the cervical. So we have to keep in mind, we have to bring a proper bulge here. So that's why in this direction the excess wax is removed in this way, just in order to get a proper labial ridge. As you can see here, how I am removing the excess wax. We will also keep removing from the lingual side. So in a maxillary canine, a prominent cingulum is also seen. So we have to maintain that structure. We give a lingual convergence from both the side to get a prominent and a rounded cingulum. So here you can, after removing of the extra wax, here you can see the crown from all the aspects. This is the labial, this is the lingual, here you can see the mesial aspect, and here you can see the distal aspect. Now we will mark the fossa on the lingual side. This is the lingual side, and this here you have seen a rounded and a prominent cingulum. Above that I'll mark a lingual ridge along with the cusp tip till the cingulum area, and a mesial and a distal fossa is made on the sides of this lingual ridge. I'll use this part of the carver to make these fossa, mesial and distal fossa. Here you can see how I am marking the fossas. Remove all the extra wax. So these are the two fossas we get. Here you can see the lingual ridge. This is the mesial cuspal ridge. The larger one is the distal cuspal ridge, mesial marginal ridge, distal marginal ridge. So here it completes our lingual portion. Now we come to the root portion. We'll mark from all the four sides so that we get a carved root of the canine. The root is tapering towards the apex. After marking of the shape, remove all the extra wax to get the proper shape of a root. We are getting the shape of a root here, which is long and tapering. At the apex area it is thin. Should be smooth in nature. You can remove the extra wax in this manner also. While carving, the proper shape of the root should be maintained. So here you can see we get the root like this, and one important feature for this root portion is that it is distally tilted. So we'll remove some of the wax on the apex area of the mesial side. So that we get a tilt on a distal side. After that, I am going to mark the cervical line, which make a demarcation between the crown and the root. Now you polish it to remove all the extra wax which is sticking to the tooth. Now another thing which I am going to do is that on the mesial, on the distal side, we are going to mark the developmental grooves on the root portion, in the middle of the root. We can use this side of the carver. This is the mesial developmental groove, and we are going to do the same thing on the distal side. On the distal side, the developmental groove is slightly deeper in nature. Remove the wax from the groove. So here you can see a completely made maxillary canine. This is the crown portion, this is the root portion with the mesial and the distal developmental groove. Thank you.